on Facebook. This is Dave Savage, CEO of Mortgage Coach, and welcome to our Tuesday interview. Every Tuesday, we are here to connect as a community. We all believe in the same things. We believe that advice is the ultimate value prop as a leader. We believe that leadership is the best way to deliver great advice to families. We absolutely believe in leveraging technology. Today, as my special guest, I have Casey Cunningham. What is up, Casey?
Hello, Dave. How are you?
I'm good, good. Thank you for making time to pour some love, pour some value, and hopefully have some fun with the Mortgage Coach community.
Well, I'm wearing black in honor of you, so we are dressed appropriately.
How did you know that I was going to be wearing black?
I just had this feeling. I'm like, let me see, what am I going to wear today?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I know how busy you are, so thank you for making time to bring value to the community. Casey and I had a prep call. And we were talking like, what should we talk about? And there's just so many topics out there. How to be a better team leader, and whether you're the leader of a team and you need to use your production partners better. We could have spent a whole call on that. We could have talked about, and we were thinking about, how to help new loan officers, the next gen loan officer. Like Casey's really well known for someone's new to the mortgage business. He knows how to get them up to speed quickly. But we landed on this concept of the modern originator, and we want to unpack who we think the modern originator is. What are the skills of the modern originator? What are some opportunities that open up if you're that modern originator? So Casey, how would you like to set it up? Do you want to just go back and forth a little bit on defining what a modern mortgage originator is between the two of us, or do you have some slides or specific things you want to kick things off with?
No, I think a great conversation. If anybody's watching the video, I'm going to throw some slides in front of me about certain things. And hey, you ask questions. Let's keep it as natural a dialogue. But I have a checklist for everybody. So if everybody's wondering, hey, I'm wondering am I the modern originator? How much work do I have? What do I need to do to get better? I've got a checklist. You literally can go one at a time and go, I'm not doing that. Let me attack that this week, this month. But not just passively listening. I know your audience, which I love, Dave, is all about engagement, all about taking action, or you wouldn't have these people coming in, back each and every week. So I have a checklist. So I'll go through one at a time, ask for your feedback, input, and let your community share anything they'd like. Of course, you can always open it for question and answers, but I've got, technically, I'm going to call it 11. It packed into those 11 attributes of the modern originator. And this is based on countless amount of research we've done about what's different. Because, the one thing we have to all remember is the old originator, which by the way, are my age and or a little older. The consumer is now in a different place than they were when you first started. And you have to know how the consumers have changed in order to become a modern originator. So I'll just start whenever you're ready. I can give you one at a time and let's talk about it.
Well, let's do that, and I'll add mine towards the tail end. So let's get through your 11. But I also want to push the audience. This is a live call. Whether you're on Facebook and you have comments down below, you can post questions. I would love to know what you think the definition of the modern originator is. It was interesting. I was at a sales rally this weekend. Actually, it was on Sunday. And people were talking about what's the definition of being the digital mayor as a mortgage professional. It was crazy that different speakers had different definitions, different loan officers had different definitions. And so I would love to hear, I'd like to come out of this call with, at Mortgage Coach, with Casey Cunningham on the phone, what is the modern originator? So Casey, let's roll. What's number one?
All right, let's go. All right, here we go, everybody. You should be able to see on the video. It's pretty simple. The modern originator, they own their brand. He or she owns their brand. Let me be very specific. Your companies have a brand. In the old days, it was all about the company brand, not you. You were just the traditional transaction guy waiting for the phone to ring from the traditional realtor source. Not saying the realtors are not a key aspect of today's business world. However, you now have your own brand. I mean, we're seeing companies today, loan officers specifically, literally having their own email address so that they can carry that brand wherever they need to go. But here's the key is, do you know, the modern originator absolutely knows their brand. They have a UVP. They know exactly what it is. And the modern originator today is more authentic. In other words, people get to know them. They are genuine for certain, but they also know, and everybody might want to write this one down, they understand what it takes to be a great self-promoter of their own brand. And there's 3 things in order to be a great self-promoter. All right, so what are the 3? Number 1 is you know how to position your unique brand into the marketplace, and you know you're everywhere in the local market. The second is, again, position. The second is style. That UVP has to stand out. Dave, everybody else, because we teach this, of course, and we're a training company. I'm telling you, if I hear one more loan officer tell me, hey, I close my loans on time, I really give good service, and I've got good rates. That is not a unique value proposition. Everybody says that. What makes you unique? And the modern LO has it very dialed in. They know exactly what makes them unique. I'll give you an example, Dave. So I had a loan officer. She was way ahead of her time, by the way. She is a senior executive of one of the largest mortgage companies in the country today. I'll leave her unnamed just to keep this raw for you guys. I had her actually speak to a group of LOs. Now, she was doing 100 million when nobody was doing 100 million. And her UVP, everybody's going to sort of laugh. Her UVP is call me back and I'll call you back in 8 minutes or less. And people would test her. And she was like, bring it on. And she had a way to make sure no one ever went into voicemail and that she always got back. If they did, she would call them back within 8 minutes or less. So that was her UVP. Very interesting, very edgy, very clear. So I would challenge anyone listening in, do you really know your brand? What makes you unique? And in a minute, I'll talk about an experience that you can have with your clients, but do you know your brand? So the modern LO certainly knows what their brand is and understands the significance of having one.
Love that, guys. So if you do have a UVP, please put it in comments down below. One of my favorites is from Jeremy Forcier, where he talks about good people deserve great advice. And I deliver great advice. A value prop that a lot of people at Mortgage Coach, they don't necessarily say it just like this, but my advice helps you build wealth with real estate faster by helping you make smarter mortgage decisions and then being able to deliver that. I do want to share what my favorite definition was at this event I was at. People were talking about, like, what does it mean to be a digital mayor? And I just heard a lot of different definitions. This was my favorite on Sunday, is the digital mayor is the most popular and powerful mortgage professional in a specific city on social media. Interesting. That makes sense. Like, I know Dan Keller, who I've interviewed countless times, always talks about, like, my goal and what I'm doing on social media is I want every realtor in Seattle to know who I am. They're not all going to do business with me, but through video, through social media, they're going to be like, I've heard that Dan Keller name before. And that is part of his digital mayor strategy. Josh Metal, he wants to be that physician home loans digital mayor. So guys, put yours down below. What is your brand? What is your value prop? And let's get as much information from you guys as possible. So Casey, no debate. Number 1, we align. Love it.
So self-promoters, by the way, I said there were 3 things from the great self-promoters of their brand. Let me make sure I'm clear. Number 1 is you position it everywhere. 2, it's something unique, style, right? Style is like highly unique. The third, it's repetition. You can't do it once. It's just got to become something as part of your everyday language. And I think the important part you just said, Dave, and I couldn't agree more, is you better be able to back it up. So whatever you put out there, button it up, but get excited, because where in the old days you'd have to spend millions of dollars to have a brand like, not or billions, if you will, for a Nike or a Coke. Now you have a brand. And I don't know if your audience is studying it and really learning that the brand, by the way, so Dave, I was asked early on, do you want to be a house of brands or a branded house? Think about that kind of question, right? Do I want to be a house of brands or a branded house? Well, Zenix is a branded house, right? Think about it. The name Zenix, it's about what we provide, but not all the brands within it. Anyway, let's go to the next one. All right, ready, everybody?
So wait, time out. Lori just put in, I'm your lifetime lender. I like that, Lori. Cool. Keep it coming, guys.
I
Next,
love that one,
Casey.
Lori. Kudos to you on that one. All right, so you're going to love this next one, Dave. And I didn't do this for you. But this is what our studies have shown, that the true modern LO acts as a consultant. In other words, the Jeremy Forcier has it right? And I think I've heard this, I'm not sure from you or where, but they own price to advice. When someone says, hey, what's your rate? The pivot statement on that is happy to help you with that. Let me just say that again, everybody, because I'm hearing multiple scripts in the market from people get defensive. Hold on, I got to ask you a lot of questions. You never stop the customer from asking. They go, hey, I want to get your interest rate. Hey, no problem. Happy to help you with that. Are you looking at purchasing your home? Or are you looking at refinancing? By just pivoting into the questions, you now own the conversation. But the consultant acts truly as the expert. And they communicate the three things that every consumer wants. Does everybody know what I think everybody probably knows. You got a pretty educated audience, Dave. But,
but tell us.
When they ask, hey, what's your rate? And they're calling you, it doesn't matter what customers, there are three things they really care about. What's my house payment? How much money will I need? And do I qualify? Yes, they care if they're going to close on time and all of that. But the three things they all care about is how much money, what's my house payment, and do I qualify? So you should already know that. And this consultant takes that very easy three things and makes it really simple in the communication process. So they are truly a consultant. They're not here to deliver a rate. So Dave, I don't know if I ever shared with you, I went into a hotel, I called 200 LOs. They didn't know it was me. 200 people, called them up. Guess what my first question was? Hey, what's your rate? You would have been shocked. The statistics show 90% of all LOs, when you ask that question, get defensive, as opposed to happy to help you with that. They didn't ask where the referral came from. Well, it was like 50% never said, where did you get my name and number? When I said, well, what do you think rates are going to do? Oh my gosh, that went crazy. So I can give you all the stats. But anyway, bottom line is the consultant takes over the conversation and asks a lot of questions, and very clearly has that unique value proposition, says, love to help you with that. And so anyway, that's an easy one.
Okay, my turn. I want to show something on my screen real quick. So guys, the timing couldn't have been better, Casey, because last week on Tuesday's call, it's right here, we did a role playing with 10 top performing loan officers. All of them have done over 1,000 total cost analysis. One of them hadn't, but was a $50 million producer and the market leader in Bozeman, Montana, Shannon O'Hare. And it was a role play. So this was not just like me interviewing 10 top performers. Jeremy Forcier was one of them. It was a role play where it was ring, ring, what's your rate? And then for 3 to 7 minutes, it was a role play of how they go from price to advice. Like, what is the process? So if you want to watch the whole 1 hour and 24-minute video, it's in our YouTube channel. And if you just want to listen to Josh, 6 minutes and 14 seconds, Kelly Zitlow, 7 minutes and 56 seconds, Jeremy, 9 minutes. So these are all uploaded. They just hit our YouTube channel last night. Now this one, check this out, Casey. This one hit last Tuesday. This was a live call. And look at that. We haven't even promoted it yet. And over 2,583 people have watched the YouTube. So guys, check that out. If you're watching the recording of this in our Facebook group, I'm going to put a link down below. But if you want to hear 10 ballers, over $100 million a year in production, be able to go from ring, ring, what's your rate? Check it out down below. Casey, before we go off that topic, one thing that we didn't ask everybody, and I would love your question, is we didn't ask them, like, when a realtor asked, what's your rate? Like how to position yourself as a consultant with a real estate agent. Do you have any feedback on that structurally, just strategically?
Any realtor that asks you that's a novice if they don't know by now that there's so many factors, right? And so that would be my question is, okay, happy to give you the rate. I always say happy to give it to you. Don't get defensive. Happy to give you the rate. All right, are we looking at a purchase and what's their credit score? So you just start flipping right into the questions and, what's the LTV, credit score, et cetera. Tell me the scenario so I can give you the effective rate. And then they're going to go, I don't know all of that. And say, okay, well, let me give you a range depending on the LTV, credit score, etc. Here's where we are. And so at that point, it's real simple. So to me, an objective is just clarification of the question. So I'm not going to just give it to them.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing I want to also shine a light, because the week before I interviewed Denise Donahue, and I'm going to show it on my screen right now. And she went through and spent 30 minutes on how she takes someone from rate to advice. And she talked about how every borrower, in her case, has 22 different price options. And she just pulls up Optimal Blue. It shows like, hey, there's 22 different prices you can have. But I love what you just brought to this call, Casey, because you're so right. Realtors that are, either asking that question or obsessing over that, they're probably not top producers. They're either rookies or they're focused on the wrong thing. So how that conversation takes place could be a qualifier for those of you that asked that question a couple days ago.
I love the view you just gave, because let me tell you, the great LOs, remember, we said act as a consultant, that you're seen as an expert. This is where education comes in. I would actually show them the screen. I would take them to Mortgage Coach and show them how you do a total cost analysis. That will take away from them ever asking you again, what's your rate? Now, quite often they're asking you for multiple reasons, right? The key is why. And so I immediately just flip into questions when someone asks me something that's got a lot of variables to it. But always acknowledge.
Yeah.
I can help you with that. So
yeah, and that's a really good point, that it's a great opportunity for you to take that realtor through your sales process. Oh, well, let me show you how I answer that for your clients and do a mock consultation that includes that from a borrower's perspective. And now, again, it's an opportunity to educate. Love that, Casey.
Sure. All right, here we go. You ready? I'll go to the next one. Let's move on. And by the way, not to go too fast on that one, I just want to let you know, I virtually never have to wait for the customer to say, how much money am I going to need? I immediately address the three things. They might have only asked me rate, only asked me that, but then I'm going to pivot into the answers of all three after I've asked them the multiple questions, if you will. All right, so the next one, you're going to like this one, Dave. Again, I didn't do this one for you. What does it say, Dave? Eagerly embraces technology.
Embraces technology. Love that.
Eagerly. Let me just put that word. Did y'all hear that? Because a lot of older LOs in the market, it blows my mind. Dave, blows my mind. That anybody who has a Mortgage Coach at their disposal, or Salesforce, I'll just go through all the different technologies, that they're not embracing it and getting excited and fired up about it, because technology will streamline your business. This is where, to me, those modern LOs not only eagerly embrace it, they invest the time to learn it. And it's not hard. You make it super simple, Dave, but just whatever technology you have available to you. So there's multiple pieces of technology. Obviously, I endorse Mortgage Coach and believe that there's some pieces. So there's some apps out there that are rock star apps in communicating effectively to large groups and segmenting them. So my question is, majority of the seasoned LOs, I'm going to call seasons being the veterans, the older guys who've been doing it a long time, 20, 30 years, and they're apprehensive about technology. If you don't adapt technology, it's going to adapt to you, and ultimately you won't be in business, because there's too many LOs that are absolutely embracing it effectively. But it's all about saving time and money. And so I'm going to just really have everybody lean in. Check out every piece of technology your company has brought to you. Ask yourself on your checklist, am I embracing it? Am I leveraging it? And where can I get better? And I always tell everybody, try not to boil the ocean right here. One thing at a time that you need to implement in your business. When you go through my checklist, say, am I doing it effectively? But you should absolutely be leveraging all the technology that you already have at your disposal. And I'd be, as you're doing, Dave, asking all the LOs, what are you using and leveraging? There's an amazing app out there, by the way. I have it on my phone that helps me communicate one-to-many on text. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Dave, but it is powerful. And so literally I can send 100 people in less than 10 seconds, literally 20 seconds, but it's one-on-one, and it's the same message to everybody. And I have them grouped by companies, grouped by key targets, grouped by customers, etc. So even my own Zenix team, they always go, hey, when you wish us a happy birthday, or not a happy birthday, like Happy Valentine's, is that on that app? I'm like, no, it's personal because you can personalize it as well. So pretty cool stuff. All right.
So let me jump in on this one. So first of all, community, if there's a technology that you think a modern originator uses and it's cornerstone, put it down below. Here's just a quick checklist from my perspective. First of all, they use their CRM. And I wouldn't just say use their CRM, they use their CRM daily. Even hourly. Like if you're using your CRM weekly, you're not a modern mortgage originator. You're using it daily, you're using it hourly. You're using your point of sale. Like I know there are most companies now have this digital mortgage point of sale app. You know, we integrate with Simple Nexus. And here's the deal. Some loan officers have the family fill that out, never. Some have them fill it out 20% of the time. And there are some that have the family fill it out 80% and use it really well. They've learned how to have scripting and conversation so that it's a value to the family, and they're using their point of sale with every client. Now, not maybe every client's not filling it out, but they're with leadership, they're having a conversation around that. Listen to my interview with Katie Pastor if you want to get best practices on that. I'm seeing platforms like HomeBot come up. Anytime you can go, I am more than a loan officer, and I'm going to help you build wealth with real estate faster. And technology is a piece of that. Mortgage Coach, HomeBot, House Happy. When I interviewed Ryan Grant and he became the preferred lender for Facebook, Facebook has 400,000 employees and he became the preferred lender. He did that because of Mortgage Coach, HomeBot, and House Happy. So you've got to leverage those technologies. And like Casey said, text. Let's face it, most families, you know, email, it's not dead. Email is still a very effective way to communicate, but email plus text, multi-channel, omni-channel communication, that's how it's getting done. Zoom, you know, while we have a live feature in Mortgage Coach, we're doing this on Zoom right now. You're seeing more and more loan officers Zoom, BombBomb. You know, that means being able to take video and put it on email. And my last comment before we move on to the next one is I want you to think of all these technology tools as golf clubs in a golf bag. And let's face it, on every hole, we don't use every golf club. Sometimes we'll play an entire game and we won't use every club. But being a modern originator is having a club, a bag full of clubs, and you know how to use them all. You know how to use those clubs. You know when to use the Mortgage Coach video. You know when to use the BombBomb video. You know when to go live. You know how to use your golf clubs, and you've got a bag full of golf clubs so you could deliver this amazing mortgage experience. Next one, Katie. Or not.
Love it.
Casey.
Hey, call me whatever you want, darling. Call me whatever you want. All right, I've got so many. Let me see. I'm going to do this one.
I just won't call you late for dinner, right?
Right.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Here we go. So everybody see it? It values every client. The modern LO values every client. Let me just state, I know the guys listening in, I'm assuming do, but let me challenge them for a moment. There are 6 different things when I say you value a client. I'm finding that LOs still don't understand the power and the magnitude of one client. One ecstatic client can blow your business up in a good way. So the question is, have they engineered the entire birth to post-closing loan cycle? And is it airtight? Do they value the zero-in rule? You guys are going, what the heck is the zero-in rule? If someone calls me as a customer, I have failed them because I should have set the expectations as to when they're going to get the next update so that I'm not controlled by them, but I'm controlling the process. So that's called the zero-in rule, where you already have embedded the weekly updates. You've already embedded the call prior to closing. You're already saying congratulations. So the question is, have you engineered the entire birth to post-closing loan cycle? Now, the modern LO knows their LOs. Knows their clients. When they actually have an application, phone, app, doesn't matter when, they get to know them. When they say Johnny's name is Johnny, they actually put it into their CRM. And when they say their son is 12 years old and his name is Kevin, they put it into their CRM. They know their clients. What does Kevin like to do for fun? Because when they call 3 years later, or you've prompted them to call, and they go, hey, I'm interested in refinancing or buying another house, you're saying, how's Johnny? How's Kevin? Is he still playing soccer? They're going to be blown away with your ability to, one, they think, remember, but obviously you know your clients personally, so you have a relationship with them. They are not just a number. Let me just make sure everybody's clear. The modern LO knows how to take one client, and I think I've done this with you before, Dave, but I'm going to assume some people listening in haven't heard it. Ready? All right. If one client is ecstatic, how many clients in a lifetime can they send you? People will go, oh, 10, 15, 20, right? And I'll go, okay, well, just assume they send you 2. For any of you who know the multiplier effect, 1 sends you 2, those 2 send you 2 each, those 4 send you 2 each. You can see it. You would have millions of leads. What's happening is the loan officer gets a loan and they forget it's not a file, it's a person, and that person has a network. The average network is around 200 people at minimum that they can influence. The question is are you valuing that one client? Are you creating, you ready for this? It's called the Blue Booty experience. What is that? All right. So just so you know, everybody can do loans. Everybody can close them, give good service, give good rates, whatever it might be. But is it an experience? See, the modern LO realizes that the experience is what makes them come back and to talk about you. Getting a loan, we all do that. But give me an experience. So let me tell you what Blue Booty means. So anybody ever have their carpets cleaned? I'm going to guess yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right? They show up at the front door. They got this heavy equipment. And then they stop. Anybody can clean carpets. Anybody can show up on time. And anybody can do a really good, do a great job of cleaning the carpets. But what's the experience? When they show up and they say, excuse me, Mrs. Cunningham, I don't want to damage your floors. Give me just a moment. And they put a Blue Booty on the top, bottom of their shoes. They don't dare walk on my carpet, my hardwoods, and they take care of it. That Blue Booty experience makes them stand out. Now, the question is, what's the Blue Booty experience for your customers? Are you, on a first-time home buyer, shooting a video to just say, congratulations, you've just been approved? I know you preach this stuff, Dave, but I'm going to tell you the modern LO is leveraging video to help in the Blue Booty experience. Are they helping the client at the 1-year anniversary not send an email, happy anniversary, who, by the way, they probably don't care about their anniversary. What they do care about is the experience that you made them feel. So what are you doing there? Is there a video to say, congratulations, you've been in your house for a year now. I just wanted to say hello. Hey, Johnny, and hey, Kevin, how have you guys been? What are you doing for the gifts for the Blue Booty experience? Please stop giving things that have your logo on it. I'm going to tell you, I love you guys. I even love my company, Zenix, but I don't put a Zenix logo on my Christmas tree on an ornament. I don't even have a Zenix blanket on my sofa. Do not give things with logos, your logo, to a client. If you really want to create a Blue Booty experience, give them a personalized gift with their initials on it. So in other words, put a blanket on their sofa, cream, beige, it doesn't matter, because as long as it's clean and what I call generic, they'll put that on their sofa, and guess what? Every time they wrap that blanket around themselves, they'll think of you. Because when do you put a blanket on? When you're sitting at home and you want to get cozy. See, the modern LO gets that it's all about the human being and connecting with them personally. So I'm saying you've got to make sure that you create that Blue Booty experience and really question if they show up in your lobby right now. You show up in my lobby, Dave, even you who's a friend, you're going to get a welcome sign. We're going to have the music playing. We're going to even research, do you like Coke, Sprite, Diet Coke? What do you have? We're going to try to have some of your own, your favorites there. We'll create a Blue Booty experience, and we haven't even greeted you yet at the front door. But when you walk in, you will feel the difference. So guys, if you are having fun, come get a Blue Booty experience. If they never show up in your office because you're doing everything online, great. Video gives you the ability to create a Blue Booty experience where they go, wow. There's also a concierge checklist you can put in your lobby that you're actually doing. You can engage them over the web by saying, I just want to say hello and let you know who I am. I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. I have an amazing team. I have 2 dogs, a miniature schnauzer and an English bulldog, and I have a passion for fly fishing. And I know this is the most personal experience that you're ever going to actually disclose is to a stranger. But I want you to know I'm also a new friend for you. So how do you create the Blue Booty experience? So that's called valuing every client.
Okay, I got to jump in. So one, I want to go back to the last one because a number of people weighed in. Eddie said the app reach. Thank you, Eddie. Also talked about sales boomerang, and absolutely you need to have alerts. You need to know what your borrowers are doing. We have an integration coming out with Sales Boomerang and an integration coming out with HomeBot. Big fans of that. So Eddie, thank you for that. And then I also just remembered reputation management. The modern mortgage originator is collecting reviews. They have a library for their reviews. They're promoting reviews. We integrate with Social Survey. We love Social Survey, but the modern originator is using that technology. I wanted to say one last thing. It's not necessarily the blue booty experience, but the actual concept was, what was it? Love every customer. Is that what it was?
Value every customer, every client.
Here's the deal, guys. We are a purchase first community. So most people that are on this call right now, it's all about purchase business first. But you know what? When refis come, it's important to recognize that if you are not doing annual reviews, if you are not figuring out how to either time block to support those, maybe you need to delegate some of your, if you have a team, a concierge. Here's the deal. If you are not doing annual reviews and you are not making time to support those clients during refi markets, you do not have a client for life business. It's that simple. You are not valuing every customer if you are not figuring out how to support your database consistently. So I get it. We're hunters, purchase first, realtors, and refis are second. I get that, but if you're not figuring it out, whether you have to just work more hours, make sure you get permission from your spouse and you're working more hours, but if you're not supporting your clients with annual reviews and refi markets and refi opportunities, you do not have a client for life model in business, and you're not living but what Casey just said. Like if you want to turn your mortgage practice into the snowball rolling down the hill, you need to make sure you're purchase first, and you need to make sure that you're supporting your clients with annual reviews. Casey, do you have something else to add to that?
Yeah, I think, you know, when I said value every client, by the way, my last point on that was consistently request reviews and testimonials, because the reality is there's a thing called social proof, which, by the way, that segues straight into the next point is that the modern LO, hold on, I'll put it up there for you, leverages social media, okay? Period, end of story. They leverage social media. Because if you aren't requesting the reviews and testimonials, you really can't put them on social media, if you will. So I'm saying make that a high priority for yourself. But let me be real specific on here. The social media is not a one and done game. This is a daily event. And you do not, I just interviewed an LO who makes $100,000 a year just on Facebook, 15 minutes a day. And I was asking him, how's he doing it? How's he doing it? Really simple stuff. 10, 10, 10. You know, I'm going to like 10, connect with 10, and comment on 10. And then I'm done. Takes me about 15 minutes. I get more business from just commenting, liking, and connecting every day for 15 minutes. Now, part of the social media piece is, and this is what we call social proof. Anytime you get a shopper, they're like, I'm shopping with multiple lenders. You know for a fact they're out on social, and your digital footprint is speaking volumes to them. What does it look like? And testimonials and recommendations should be plentiful on your social profiles. How well have you put those out there? Are you educating in social media? Because if you're educating, don't even worry if anybody is watching it right away. But you start becoming the educator of just the most simplistic pieces, you will gather a following beyond your imagination, but you'll also be known as an expert. It has been proven based on how many devices does everybody work with? 3.8, I think, is that what your number is? 3.6, Dave? They are checking you out before they ever call you. That has been proven, by the way. About 80% of all consumers, when they get your name, immediately put it in search engine to find out who you are. What does your social footprint look like? And you want to make sure it has testimonials, has recommendations, that there's education. Let me give a quick tip for what I think a lot of people are missing that are listening in right now, because of our research. You've got LinkedIn, everybody. Everybody's like, well, that's a business page. That's more for resumes. No, it's not. It is one of the most searched sites in the country today. And I'm going to guarantee you that the 90% of the people that are listening to me right now don't have anything personal on their LinkedIn profile. And I'd tell you today, get on your LinkedIn profile, edit it, and put anything you can personally. Your birthday, you have children, what do you like to do for hobbies? Go join some of the groups. I like to fly fish, so become part of the fly fishermen's group. The question is LinkedIn, I'm going to recommend you guys put something personal on your page, even in the description of who you are. People do business with people, and you want them to connect with you. From where you went to college to where you went to high school to what your likes and dislikes. I already know you got the business piece on there. I assume. I'm assuming it's buttoned up, knowing that people are going there, and that is your store window. Because if you own your brand, you got to own each social footprint that you have. LinkedIn is quite often ignored because everybody thinks everyone's going to Facebook. I'm going to tell you, Facebook is a big play there as well, more personal than business. But don't shy about letting people get to know who you are. The positive reviews that you put out that someone else said about you is more powerful than you saying how good you are. I think everybody knows that. But using video often in your social media personalizes you and lets people relate to you. But you said, what should everybody do? And I'm going to ask your guys that are listening. Are you posting? Are you doing the 10-10-10 every single day without fail? So adding 10, connecting with 10, or commenting on 10. Okay.
So Casey, multiple people have asked, what is that app you're using to do the text, the one-to-many texts? What do you use?
The Reach app. I'm using the Reach app.
Oh, okay. Okay,
it's
uses the Reach app,
month.
and then everybody who's on this, if you have another app that you're using to automate your text or another strategy, let us know down below. Like, remember, we're here to get better together. Maybe Reach is the single best one to do that. Maybe there's another one. So let us know down below. And then I had something else to say, but I forgot. And let's keep going, Casey.
All right, let's do the next one. Ready? This one's going to be a big one. I'm not sure how well your guys are doing this, but the modern LO, he is driving a direct-to-consumer influence. He's going after direct to the consumer, not exclusive to his business. The modern LO still has the realtor referral sources and the builders, the CPAs, financial planners, stockbrokers, insurance agents, but he's also figured out the play that you've got to get he who gets to the consumer first wins. So there's multiple ways to get to the consumer first. Everything from, you've heard them all, from Facebook page, creating an educational forum on your Facebook page, to home buyer seminars. I always recommend you pick one and nail it. Facebook ads, they work. You just have to know how to work them. Local paper, I'm in a small town in a big city, if you will. There's a local paper. Yep, there's the mortgage guy every week. I get my paper, I'm reading what he has to say. The question is, what are you doing for the direct to consumer? And then also, not only the direct to consumer influence is every lead matters. And the modern LO has a lead management system. He knows how to nurture every single lead. So when they're ready, he can convert them. And he understands the 3 things that will convert a lead. By the way, if you did not know this, you can write this down. There are 3 things that helps you maximize lead conversion. How fast you call somebody back, how often you call them back, and the time of day you call them back. Makes a difference, like a radical difference, from converting 10% of your leads to 80% by just knowing those 3 pieces. I'm going to call them back often. I'm going to call them back as fast as possible. And I'm going to do it at a certain time of day. Okay. So the modern LO understands that he needs to drive a consumer direct piece of his business, because guess what? It changes the game. When you get to the consumer first, now you can actually flip it on the realtor. You pick your realtors, they don't pick you. So have you modernized your business yet? There may be something in the queue that you would like to do, but there's a fact that says, he who gets to the consumer wins. You lead the pack. I'm seeing a lot of people asking me what time of day is the best time to call. In the evenings between 6 and 7, is a powerful time to call. Right before dinner.
So a couple things, guys. One, I just put a link in our Facebook group to an interview I did with Chris Smith, the author of the Conversion Code. And it was a 10-minute conversation on how to get a prospect on a phone and into a conversation. And the guy crushed it on that. So we'll go deeper on that over here. I absolutely agree with this one. And I would love to just riff a little bit with you on this. Because while I agree wholeheartedly, all of those things the modern originator does, sometimes I see loan officers that they're not doing annual reviews. They're not paying attention. They're not giving enough love to their past customer database. They're not optimizing the wealth team. You're making sure that when they talk to a client, hey, I want to connect with your CPA and your financial planner, and these things that I just think are the basics. And instead of doing that, they're chasing, leads. So Casey, I don't know, my thought is like, okay, the direct to the consumer strategies is like 2.0. If you're loving your database, if you're optimizing your referral partners, now we go and do consumer direct. How do you give leadership around that?
Okay. First of all, most people are terrible about going direct to consumer, right? It's really costly. They haven't figured it out, but I'm going to tell you the modern LO's figured it out. Not everybody has. Do not, listen, let's go, let me just show you. Here it comes, right? I know you're dying for this one, all right? The modern LO engages their database like nobody else. They totally understand not just the value of the client and mastering the loan process, but they value their database and they protect it at all costs. There's multiple ways. I can give you example after example of loan officers that have gone direct to consumer. Someone who's nailed the home buyer seminar market. He has 60 first-time home buyers monthly into a live class. He's figured out that formula, and that's his game. So he games it with the realtors, and so now he can dictate the realtor conversation. So you have to pick where your nuance is. If you aren't there yet, that's okay. Study it before you get it, before you start trying things, because everybody else has tried it already in front of you. You don't have to relearn it. You're right, Dave. The modern LO, let me just shows up every day, understands consistency and understands the formula for success. And everybody, y'all can write this down. The formula for success is really easy. It's just a few simple disciplines repeated daily. That's been proven, by the way, a few simple disciplines repeated daily. So what are the simple disciplines you've put into your business that are non-negotiables? As Dana Harkeby would say, non-negotiables. What are the non-negotiables that are the simple disciplines for you? So I was cautious to say the modern LO drives consumer, but they are. These guys are getting in front of it, saying, I'm going to get direct to the consumer.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
By the way, Rick just asked the question, what integrates with Sales Boomerang? Rick, it's Mortgage Coach. Now, Casey, I'm going to just try to shut up because I know we've got 15 minutes left, and I think you've got like 5 more things. So let's make sure we at least get all 5 of them out, and I'll save my comments for the last. So time for you to riff. Community, keep asking questions down below.
All right, everybody. Hopefully, if they're watching me on video, they've got it right. Engages their database. Let me tell you, when I say engages their database, that's their past clients. Your past clients, as Andy Grove of Intel said, you must be paranoid, and only the paranoid survive. Every person on your database right now is going to get a mortgage again, more than likely. Are you doing the annual reviews? Are you reaching out? Are you calling 10 people a day from your database, checking in on them, seeing how they're doing and loving on them? They not just reach out, by the way, so the whole Reach app, I have everybody in segments of my clients. Powerful way to just say hello to somebody on a Valentine's Day, at Christmas time. And I got them all in there and I'm texting, but it says, hello, Dave. Hello, Kevin. So you feel like it's just you. So, but let me just say that database, we still don't have loan officers, Dave. I know it sounds insane, that absolutely realize the power of their database and the value of it and protect it, which means maintaining it, reaching out. And if you're putting people on a drip campaign on your database, just so y'all know, you guys hate drip campaigns. I hate drip campaigns, and you can tell the difference. I am listen, keep dripping, but that doesn't count. So when I say doing a reach out, remember, these are new friends that you have. So are you really protecting your database? So for the sake of time, I'll stop there, but the modern LO totally engages their database. All right, the next one. This one is an easy one, but it's one that I'm not sure everybody really is doing, in my opinion. Ready? Dave, you froze on me, so I'm not sure if I'm frozen. But anyway, the modern LO treasures their key targets.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Just keep going. I just put it on mute so I didn't interrupt you.
Treasures their key targets. What does that mean? When I say treasures their key targets, everybody, a key target in the world of Xenix, and there's a Xenix terminology, but I'll translate it for you, is a valuable relationship, okay? What we call a referral relationship. They've been qualified. So, for example, you got 10 realtors, 2 of them are key targets, the other are just referral guys. 2 of them can help change the course of your business. So when I say you treasure your key targets, this is what I mean. That you are strategically identifying, establishing a key target list, that you focus on knowing each one of them as if they are your new best friend. Yes, they are friends. They're no longer just business associates. You're creating a VIP experience. So give you an example. If you have 25 key targets, by the way, you should be doing 50 million a year at minimum. Those 25 key targets know that if they text you with a 911 in front, it means they're sitting with a client. That VIP experience means, and if I'm in the middle of something, I'm going to make an excuse to go to the restroom, to just take a break for a moment and call my key target, okay, because I treasure them, so that they can impress a client that they have a first time ability to get to me. And it's just called the non-negotiable rule for connecting with them. I know everything about them, kids' names, dog names. And if you guys have referral sources right now that are sending you business and you can't tell me their kids' names without looking it up, then you do not treasure them yet. That's what I call treasure. Of course, you value them, but I'm talking about treasure it in the sense that you really have gotten to know them. It's really hard to get rid of a friend. Easy to get rid of a loan officer. I think y'all got it. All right, let's move to the next one. All right, the modern LO. Here we go. Your last one, not last one, I got 2 more. Embraces a comprehensive written business plan. Man, all right, hopefully this terminology will help you. Your written business plan causes you to time block, but let's not call it time blocking. Let's call it energy blocking. One of my clients actually said that to me, and they said, you know, your program, Casey, teaches you to energy block. And I'm like, man, how true is that? It's not about time blocking. It's where do you place your energy? And you protect your time. The modern LO does not waste their time with other loan officers or other naysayers or people that are not going to help them elevate their business, their mindset. The modern LO is consistent in reviewing the plan. You should review it literally every week, but at minimum every quarter, and adjust the plan. And the modern LO, I know you guys, the modern LO knows their numbers. They know how many leads they need in order to convert, in order to fund. So the question is do you know your numbers? All right. And then the modern LO really leverages a mentor or a coach, or has an accountability partner. The question is, because that's the trend, but imagine the power if you had a mentor or a coach on a daily or weekly or quarterly basis, or monthly or quarterly basis, holding you accountable. So that is under embracing a written business plan. What am I doing on time, Dave? I'm trying to give you time to make comments as well. Okay, we're good. All right.
No, we're all good. We got 10 more minutes.
Okay, good. So let me pause for a moment, Dave, because when I said the written business plan, the majority of LOs still do not have a written business plan. They still don't have the depth in that plan that says, here's my key targets, here's my social strategy, here's exactly what I'm going to do. And when you stop to write it down, statistically, it has been proven, which is awesome, that when you write it down, you have a higher probability of attaining it, even if you don't look at it again. Imagine if you just stop to write it down. But the majority of the LOs still in this industry today do not know their numbers. And so I challenge everybody, the modern LO really knows their numbers, and that's how they're able to energy manage, okay? It's energy block as opposed to time block. They know where their dollars are, and they know the value of their time. All right, so I'm going to move to this next one, which is I'm very passionate about. This was not being done years and years ago, but now we all know the consumer's behavior has changed. You think about it. The old days, the consumer wanted to go look at a house, but couldn't get access to MLS. So they'd call the realtor, and the realtor, for goodness sakes, like, hey, make sure you get pre-qualified, and they call us. Well, now this consumer has gone online. He's not calling the realtor first. He's looked at houses before he even calls the realtor. He may get captured by the Zillow leads and in that pool, and people are starting to talk to him. So I mentioned about direct to consumer opportunity. This is a little bit different, but the modern LO is really taking their brand, you ready? Here it is, and expanding their influence locally as a relationship connector. Let me explain to you what I mean. You guys all live in certain towns, cities, if you will, and there's a respective geographic area. The modern LO is paying it forward. They leave business reviews in their local area. Listen carefully. They leave good business reviews. They get to know the owners and the managers of all the businesses in their area. They're not shy about letting them know who we are or who you are. They create community engagements. So going to the library, you guys, have you thought about it? Saying, hey, I can do homebuyer seminars for the library. There's constant people in and out. Easy to set and forget. Real easy because you've done it once. You show up for 30, 45 minutes. You got a bank of leads. That's a direct to consumer conversation, but it gets you known in the local market with local presence. You're looking at all the professionals and small businesses in your local area, and you're connecting on social to them to say, hey, I'm here to give back to all of you. And they're not looking at giving to get, they're just giving because it will come back tenfold. And they're looking at local networking events where they can expand their influence. Again, networking events that are in their market so they become the household name. That is a direct-to-consumer conversation, but a little bit different process, if you will, where you're known locally. So that's the expanding your influence. I'd love to, got one more that's my most passionate, so I'm in the biggest one for last because this has evolved over the years, but anybody listening in, before I share this next one, I want to sort of give you in context. I've been in the industry, Dave, with you for a long time, and I have seen loan officers grow and evolve, and I've seen loan officers stuck. And I see these mega producers. You know, the modern LO needs to show up, have integrity, do the simple disciplines, all of that. But the true modern LO, these are the people, and I think you guys, give me an amen if everybody agrees with what I'm about to put up. The modern LO is not just, well, I'll just put it up there. Respects, values, and loves their team. Respects, values, and loves their team. The modern LO does not see their loan office, their processor, as just a person who should just do it and just get it done. And I don't want to talk to them. The modern LO cares about their team and realize it takes a team effort, because once your team is on your side, your business will flourish. You'll create a blue booty experience. You'll have zero doubt about your client's experience and their testimonial. So the question is how many of you, by the way, so we teach and preach this, right? How many of you value and love your team? And here's how you'll know. Do you know the names of their kids and their dogs and what their favorite thing to do when they're not at work? And if you don't, I'm going to challenge you to get to know your team members. And I have a form. I'm happy to give it to you, Dave, if you want. It's called Get to Know Your Team Member. And it sounds like a little crazy how basic and fundamental this is. But the best teams in the country, their leaders know the team members. And everybody, whether you have a title of leader, as a loan officer, you are a leader. And so I'm proud to say my team's won 23 culture awards, best to work for in the nation multiple times, best to work for in Atlanta. And it's because I have a team of leaders that value every single employee and every single associate. And it's something that I can tell you when I was early on as a loan officer did not do well. I didn't. I was just like, hey, I take a gray loan application. You need to do your job. Well, I learned and shifted over time where I had a processor teach me the value of a team member. And she said to me these words, you ready? It changed my opinion. We were in somebody told me she was an amazing processor. Amazing. Her name is Michelle, by the way. And I'm like, okay. So we're she's just been assigned to me. I'm a pretty good loan officer. I get her. We're in a file review meeting. She happened to be in the same location as me. We weren't remote at the time. And it didn't matter. I still do remote file reviews. But anyway, so we're about to start going file by file. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Just basic fundamental stuff. Before I start, do you know what she says? I said, all right, let's go through the Johnson file. She goes, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, what? She goes, this is my processor. Listen up here. How did I do for you today, this week, as your processor? I said, what? She goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is I was exceptional. 1, I was terrible. How did I do for you this week? Now, that's a loaded question, everybody, but I said, you were about a 7, an 8. She goes, what did I not do? And I told her, and she went, oh my gosh, I'll never do that again. I always want to be a 10. I was like, now that's a great processor, right? So I'm like, man, wow. So I'm like, all right, well, let's look at the Johnson file. She goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Would you like to know how you did? I looked at her. She goes, I'm going to give you about a 6. And at that moment, she said, I know you want me to be a 10, and I'll expect nothing less from you. Mic drop. I looked at her and I realized she's 100% right. So any of you shortchanging, not taking care of your team, it's to your demise, not theirs. Love and value them. They're human beings and we're on this journey in life. So let's just embrace them and make sure they know every day how special they are and what they're doing to help ensure that that experience that your clients are getting is Blue Booty plus 10. So that's it.
Wow. If there was an audience, they'd be standing up and giving you a standing ovation. That was awesome. So less than an hour, we got 3 more minutes, and Casey just crushed it. Everything she said, I believe in. I think it is the modern originator. I'm sure there are other things that we need to think about. And let's face it, guys, I talk about it all the time. We need to WACD our business. For those who've heard me speak before, you know what that means, what Amazon can't do. And we need to add a Z to it. What Amazon and Zillow can't do, we have to do, but we also need to do what they can do. So it's hard. It requires new skills. It requires new tools. But at the end of the day, it also requires us to grow our empathy in our leadership. And that's what I love about how you close this, is those are things that you don't, they're not technology, but they're just like growing your leadership, growing your team skills. So guys, that was amazing. So Casey, in these last few minutes, I wouldn't have asked you to be on this call if I didn't think Xenix and you were super important and amazing. For anyone that wants to engage you, as I don't know if it's coaching, training, what are some of the ways that our community can engage you, and how would you like them to follow up with you if they want to learn more about your services? Yeah,
and it's so kind of you, Dave, to give me just a moment. I mean, goodness, you guys got LOAs. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that. The Reach app, Jeffrey, is called Reach. Okay, it's and I can show it to you, but I'm on my phone. We didn't even get a chance to how to leverage an LOA, right? We have a new LO program where we teach brand new loan officers from scratch. By the way, Dave, you'd be impressed. I mean, the average applications last month was 6.5 their first 30 days in production. That's a remarkable number for a brand newbie, right? Anyway, we track everything. So we train brand new LOs. You guys, as you bring new team members on, you want to get them trained. Second is that we can train your LOAs, and maybe we'll talk later, Dave, about how to leverage the LOA and what the modern LO is doing. The third thing is we can train you guys, the elite, if you're doing 8 to 10 units plus, there's a program we have for elite where we hold you accountable. It's over a 2-month period of time. It's every other week, and we teach you strategically how to do 4 things. How to leverage strategically leverage your lead conversion. We're going to look at that, your lead strategy, if you will, your retention strategy. We're going to talk about your conversion strategy and your leverage strategy. How do you leverage yourself to get better? So we have multiple sales programs. Most importantly, you guys care about is we hold you accountable. That's part of who we are. We believe that you should never invest in training that doesn't have that component, because the reality is you'll clap and go, that was awesome, and you won't do anything with it, because that's our nature. We get back into the line. Ours is about getting those simple disciplines incorporated into your business long term. Of course, we have leadership programs to help you guys, whether you are an executive listening in right now and you want to help your guys recruit better and or lead better. But that's, ultimately we're a sales and leadership performance company, and we build them from scratch, and we help you through the life cycle of your career. But that's a quick brief, but it's a privilege to ever have any student with us, because ours is the Blue Booty experience, right? The Ritz-Carlton of the training world, where it's about performance. And hey, the only reason my brand still exists, Dave, is because I have an amazing team that just loves and cares and values people. And we realize you showing up is the first part. You executing is also, but we got to help you get a lift. Our value is about getting you to the next level. But, it's totally blessed. But I am a mom, by the way, with 2 babies and 2 dogs. And anybody with dogs out there, that is my passion. That and fly fishing. So.
I love that. So guys, I'm sure there'll be a link in comments down below, but Zenix.com, reach out to Casey, connect with her on all social mediums. She's also got a podcast. Follow this woman. She is an incredible leader in the mortgage business. Rave reviews are coming in just saying, amen, love that. Wow, great message, Casey. So you killed it. Sean, you just asked who are 5 top originators that you should follow. So, I can give you hundreds. I do believe almost everybody I interview in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel qualifies. The 10 people that were on last week's call, what's your rate? All 10 of them are define the modern originator. Now, we're all human beings. So Casey went through 11 things, and I probably don't know anybody that scored above a 7 on all 11 of those things. But, that's part of the thing. But guys, check it out. This call is a wrap. And Casey, thank you so much for being active in the mortgage coach community.
Casey at Zenix.com if they want to reach out to me. Casey, CASEY at Zenix.com. All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
This call is a wrap.